We're talking about walking with God. God Talk, I call it. And it's actually October 31st, 2018. It's Halloween evening here in Colorado, and I'm out on the road right now, and I feel like talking into the camera over here. It just seems like the older I get, and I'm sure many people can relate to this, and you don't even have to get older. I mean, you're just so aware of what's ahead, which is eternity. And I've been listening a lot to Billy Graham lately on the Billy Graham channel on Sirius XM, channel 460. And it's really been a blessing. He's such a simple, practical teacher, like I believe like Jesus was. And this whole thing about walking with God, rediscovering my faith in God, like I said in the first episode, it's a very personal message, you know. You can see pictures of your parents all your life and hear about your parents, but never really have that first-hand relationship with them. That's kind of like it is with God. We hear about Him. I don't know about pictures, but we hear a lot about God, and there are a lot of different versions of God out there. And in my last program, I said Truth or Consequences as a show. I think it was To Tell the Truth. Will the real God please stand up? But, you know, it's that one-on-one relationship with the Lord. That's where it's at. That is where it's at. And I don't think you can be taught that. You have to experience that. That's a relationship that only you and God can have together. And I believe He really wants that. Even though I can't see Him, feel Him, touch Him, but I can see Him in nature. I can see Him in the world, in the beautiful sunset like tonight, in the animals, the birds, the flowers, my sunflowers, in the sunrises, the rainbows, in the waves on the ocean, the stars at night. So there is evidence of God. And that relationship is what I so desire, you know. If anybody were to ask me today about a relationship, I would say, you know what? My most important relationship today is my relationship with God. And it's a continuous journey. You don't ever arrive. You don't ever arrive and say, I got it all figured out, I know God, and move on. No. It's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. The Bible calls the Christian life a marathon, not a sprint. The young people, don't burn out. You know, it's not a sprint. You pace yourself. Wisdom, knowledge, virtue, understanding, all these traits. But that's where I am at. I know there are a lot of others out there that feel the same way as I do. I know there are. I guarantee it. And I hope these messages eventually will work their way into your life. That's my hope and my prayer. And that's why I'm doing them. I need to hear them too, like I said. But I really want to share them with others. And, you know, my relationship with God and all the teachings I've heard over the past, 20 years or whatever, it's just, I'm having to relearn a lot about God. Maybe I just didn't receive it right when I was going to church or going to those churches. But I'm not throwing any stones. God forbid that. Whew. But, walking with God, that's what I want in my life, and hopefully that's a desire of your heart too. To get closer to God. And the closer to heaven. My last episode on heaven, I hope you've heard that. That was a blessing to do that episode. So here I am driving out to the airport here in town where I watch the sunset and just reflecting a lot about this podcast and video podcast, whichever or this goes on. Maybe this will go on both. There'll be an audio version and a video version of what I'm talking about now. But if you have questions about anything, I don't have all the answers, but I would like to talk with you if you're listening to this. But God is so awesome. I just get blown away about how big God is, and yet how He can be personal with us, one-on-one. And I know God works through people. Yes, we need to learn to listen, be good listeners and observers, and know when God is communicating with us, talking with us, sharing with us. Maybe He's sharing some things for you through me right now, or vice versa. And I look for those opportunities now. And, I love the Bible. I read the Bible. And let's just don't become one-track minded with our faith, okay? I did that for many years. I had no spiritual peripheral vision, as I call it. And that's not a good place to be. So, walking with God, God Talk. I've got my blog, my podcast, my blog, and my website. All this information's in the video description. And then I've got the video, what I call video podcast. There's probably another word for that. Vlogging or whatever. I don't like that word. So that's it. That's where I'm at. Hopefully this message has blessed you and maybe said something or spoke to your heart. And I just invite you to really open up to the Lord and talk to Him just like your best friend, even if you don't feel anything. And that's the thing about faith. Faith is believing in something you can't see. But I'm a tangible, touching, hands-on kind of guy, so I want something like that. And I know we can embrace things in this life. And we can find God in this life. So heaven's up there, heaven's real. My mom's there, my dad's there, my aunt and uncles are there, my grandparents are there on both sides of my family. There's people that I've known have died. All these veterans I've interviewed over the years, there's many hundreds of them in heaven. And I'm looking forward to seeing them again. So that's the hope that I have. And I live by hope. I have hope in these things, okay? And I do believe in God, okay? So that's it for now. Thank you for listening and watching. And I'll see you next time. Okay, as I watch the sunset.